Marriage, they say, is a game of chance. You win some, you lose some. May we not be part of those that loses in marriage. On that note, I welcome you to one-on-one today. I am Tolulope, Dada. On the program today, we are looking at something called joint account in marriage. Does it break marriage or does it make marriage? We have two different angles that we have to look at. Most people complain about this joint account of a thing. Well, I really don't know much about it, but I have someone in the studio that can shed more light on this issue called joint account. My guest on program on this show today, she's a pastor. She has a ministry. She's a relationship counselor with more emphasis on the women folk. She has a ministry called Glorious Women Ministry International. She's another person than Pastor Dr. Mrs. Bunmi Salawu. Good day, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you very much for acknowledging our invite today.
Thank you.
Now, straight to the interview. So now we should put the larger percentage in which accounts? Because, you know, women, we have a lot of responsibilities. We need to make our hair, get clothes, get underwear, and, you know, a whole lot of things. And what does men really need money for anyway? Just to barb their hair, buy shoe. So we should keep the larger amounts in the account.
Actually, you know I'm a pastor.
Yes.
According to my own scripture, he said men are the head. Even the Tolulope said they will always give, they will not lack. You understand? So men are the one that's supposed to take larger part. Because even in the book of Timothy 5:10, he said a man that cannot provide for his house is more than an infidel. So men are meant to provide. They are meant to spend on their wife and the children and their home. So when you now see your spouse supporting you as an helpmate, that does not say you have to take her to be equal with you or you shift a larger part of your expenses on her. It is wrong.
So now what happens if the wife is earning more than the husband? Should the husband still put the larger percentage down?
And that is an agreement between two of them.
Okay, so they have to have
yes.
an agreement.
On a good day, if you are a woman that your income is more than your husband, you know that as an helpmate, you still have to help him so that that aspect, the secret of that aspect doesn't really show to people.
Okay, thank you very much, ma. Now you mentioned something earlier. You said something about if the husband or the wife is a spendthrift, someone that spends too much. Is there a way one can curb that attitude? I mean, does it have any biblical backing, how you can curb that attitude of your husband not spending so much? You know, some people will even be like, maybe if he doesn't go out, he won't spend. If he doesn't have friends, he won't spend. Is there a way one can curb that attitude?
Let me come up with a story of a family.
Okay.
A family that they just got wedded and the husband have to call the wife that we got to keep the same account in order for us to be able to do good things on time. And the woman was so happy, but thank God the kind of a man that I have really wants us to do good. And each time she took her salary, she dropped it in the husband's account. So if she really wants anything, it's for her to just get it from the husband. But even in where she was working, she said at times they took clothes, they buy things. She doesn't have the capacity to buy because of how they are keeping the money after 2 years now. So she said she has a younger brother that came to her. The younger brother came to her from the parents that she should help her younger brother that have just gotten an admission. And she was so happy that sit down, when my husband comes, we have a lot of money in the account.
Yeah.
So when the man now arrived, he explained to the man asked her, where do you want to get money? Why are you telling him to sit down?
And what about
Which
the money
money?
in the account?
And the woman said, what about the money? For the past 2 years I've been working. Say, have you not been eating?
Jesus.
Do you know it? She thought at first that it was a joke, but when she eventually saw the account, that the man now have to brought out the account, and she saw everything, she collapsed.
And what did the husband use the money for?
Hey, who knows? The lady has to collapse. So it was after 7 days she fell into coma for 7 days. So you see, keeping an account together have really caused many disasters in an home. If you felt this one will be what will separate your home, why can't you avoid it? Why can't you avoid it? You understand? So knowing your spouse before you get married in life, the kind of character you have possessed from your baby till that age, it only takes God to change you from that character. It only takes God. So if you try your best and you felt this person is not changing, the best thing is for you to just avoid that kind of a thing. But if the understanding is there, it's a good thing.
Now, let's assume the husband is a spendthrift and he insists on having a joint account. Just look at this example you just gave now. And you said it's better for one to avoid such thing just so calamity won't befall us. Now the husband is a spendthrift. He spends a lot. He wants joint account. What should the woman do? Should she now say, my husband, do this thing that you are saying? I cannot condone it. It's going to, of course, break the home. What should the woman in that kind of situation
do? This woman I was telling you about, when she eventually got back to her senses and all that, the man still insisted that the account still have to be kept. And she continued. Because she went to a counselor who told her that if that is what you want for now, till we will know how God is going to help us out of this. Then the next thing she has to do is that she has to took her transfer from that state to another state. You understand?
Yeah.
And when she got there, the money, her salary has to be transferred. Okay. She said the first month, the husband have to drive down. He drove down and said, where's
your salary?
Said, this state, I don't understand. They have not given us the salary has not been paid. The second week, the man has to come back. He said, I beg, stop coming and coming. I've collected my money and I've used it for what I felt I needed it for. And it was a war. The man has to he started reporting the woman to different people, see what she has done. She wants to split the home, and at the end of the day, people gathered and settled it for them. With prayers. There is nothing God cannot handle. If that is the aspect that I felt, because eventually, if you don't look for a way to avoid it, it will eventually still break up the home, because it will go to a point the person may not be able to continue again. So why don't you let us address it from onset, just to avoid it, so that kind of a thing, if you are looking into the life of your spouse and you felt this is going to be problem, it's better for one to just
lay off it.
Yes. But before you can do that, you go to understand your spouse. You understand? Before you can do that, understand your spouse. Understand his financial, as in his finances ability. How does he maintain finance? Can she really maintain finance? We have some men that they can spend anyhow, and some women like that. If one of them actually have that kind of character, it will be so difficult for the other person to wanted to keep an account with such a person.
So we have to understand our spouse's financial spending.
Yes.
How they spend. Let me start with how they spend.
Because we have some women that when they see money in their husband's hand, the next thing is, how are we going to spend it to the last couple? And likewise, we have men like that too. But if you have your spouse, that you know your spouse can keep money, she doesn't spend anyhow, she can be of help to you if you keep an account with her.
Now, having a joint account, do you think we should also have our own personal account? There are some people that, I know of some couples whatever it is they earn, the moment it's being transferred into the wife's account, this is my salary account, she transfers everything to their joint account. Do you think it's reasonable to have your personal account while you still have a joint account as the husband and wife, having separate accounts?
It is reasonable. You see, in so many ways, many of them that keeps these accounts, they use both the husband and wife signature. As in, both of them are the signatory to the account. So in a case when one of them is not available and you still need money, you got to have another account. And even though you are not using the same signatory, maybe one person is the signatory to the account. When we say something is a joint account, I don't know how you can understand it because I am an accountant by education. When you say something is a joint account, it's not an account that you can just be taking, I want to cook soup, I want to little petty money, have to be kept in another place.
Okay, so now it's advisable to have a joint account and personal account.
Yeah.
Lastly, before we go, can you give advice to those people that are viewing us at home, intending couples and married ones at large, while also giving us your address and your phone number?
One thing I want to advise the intending couples on is, you see, as a man, before you marry, get your feet first. If you get your feet, you be the man of your house in terms of financial control. You understand?
Yes.
You won't even be begging for your wife to give you an advantage of having a joint account. And if you want to do it, it will be on a way to protect her own interest, not your interest, because already you are a man, you are not a boy. And for those people that are out there, the married people, I will want to say that this issue of joint account is too small to break your marriage. It's too small. Marriage is a large contract. That this little aspect, you shouldn't allow that aspect to break your marriage. Just sit down and trash things out. If you felt it's not working for both of you, then you drop it aside. Then you focus on other things that you need to do in your marriage, rather than saying by fire by force and before you know it everything goes scattered. It doesn't help. So if you felt it's not working, drop it aside. You see, God himself, Jesus is the author of marriage.
Yes.
So marriage is a big thing. It's too big for just human being to scatter it just because of one token or. So that's the advice I need to give them.
Thank you very much, ma'am. So once again, your name, address, and phone number.
My name is Pastor Dr. Mrs. Salawu Bunmi. My phone number are 08078233004, and you can also reach me on 09093463696. My office is at plot 224 at Ring Road, opposite Teachers House, Oluyole Industrial Estate. That's where my office is.
All right, thank you very much, ma. I hope when next we call on you, you are going to grant us an audience.
No problem.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma. As you've all heard from my guests, iron, they say, sharpens iron. For our marriage to work, for our home to work, we have to work hand in hand to ensure that we have a long-lasting and fruitful marriage. Don't let something as trivial as having a joint account bring rift between you and your spouse. It's just too little for it to break up her home. I hope you've enjoyed this show. My name is Tolulope, dada.